Screenwriters, not a very thankful job. I give an example as a screenwriter. Yes, I did some screenwriting. Did you see the films? No, you didn't see my films. Did some screenwriting. Okay? I wrote a story. I had 2 English classes in undergrad school at Columbia College, and they were English basically teaching us to write stories. So every week we would come in with a new story. And then possibly some of these had little plots. I mean, you took the story and then you made a plot. And what's a plot? You put characters in it. You put background in it. You put tableware in it in your plot. But basically you've got characters in there. Okay? Now screenwriting is that they look at the story, they look at the plot, and now they give voice to the actors. Okay? That's one of the things. That's the screenwriters. They give a voice to the actors. And they may go back and they may actually put in scenery. Why? This has occurred in the middle of somewhere. That's another point of screen actors, is to take a plot, turn it into a screen thing, like a TV series. You're going to give that thing, and you may have Archer Bunker. Let me see. Stargate, the TV series. You had to have writers on that, and they put all this together, and then you're going to have the production people look at this, and now a director comes along, and what does the director do? He's directing actors. He's telling the cameraman, I want this. The cinematographer, I want this. You're putting up lighting, you're putting up the background, but your actors are in there, and you have the story being written. And many times on set, you have the screenwriters on set to give voice to the actors or kill the actors. Yes. That's what screen actors are doing. And it's hard, because if you're like in a TV series and you happen to have a stage and they're all in this stage, and if they're out and they're running around, let's say Murder, She Wrote, Midsummer's Murders, Doc Martin, Father Brown. You have the whole thing that is all stage, and now the screenwriters come in there and they give action to the actors. Father Brown does this, Father Brown's going to do that, and the director coming out basically does this. He has a cameraman shoot Father Brown over here. Father Brown's with somebody else. They're talking back and forth, and the screenwriters basically put everything around. They put the actors in the middle of this thing, and everything else is just stable stuff. Now, if you're going into motion pictures, you have screenwriters at all times on the set, especially when people are talking. And really good screenwriters will really give the actor something good to tell about. It's like crying. If you can get an actor to cry, that brings out sympathy. Yeah. If you can get a male actor to cry, big, strong heave man, and he loses his little pet and he's crying, that's Oscar nomination. If you can get a tragedy, I lost my brother. Oh. Okay. Crying always happy. Or something smiling, happy. A comedy can be comedy, and a sad, dark comedy, but a comedy. And there's a lot of motion pictures that are comedies that are sad, and they're troubling, and they're funny, and some stuff that's marked horror is really funny. Maybe it's because I have a warped sense of humor. They're funny. But a lot of this is pretty well skilled, and you got to remember, and many times, even the best actors and the best skilled people and all the combination, the most expensive stuff falls flat. It doesn't appeal. Why? When the puppy died, nobody cried. Having a small kid. I was in a commercial. Chris Burt did a commercial, Death of Your Choice, and it was a great commercial. It was, a college thing, and there was this little itty bitty thing in the graveyard, and you need the little kid to cry, and what you do is you give him this little teddy bear to have, because somewhere down the line you took the teddy and dumped it in the water and gave it back to the kid. Wow, that's an emotional. The little kid cried cried because his teddy bear got all wet and dirty, whereas, of course, you got a clean one over here. But because he lost his grandfather to death, and he's crying away with tears and everything else. Oh, it's beautiful. But, again, the actors had, we need the little kid to cry, and how do we get the kid to cry? How do we get her to cry? How do we get that thing? And the good actors can do it. New actors will have a hard time doing it. I would have a hard time doing it. Well, give me onion. Yes, onion. I will cry my head off. Onion. Give me onion. Put onion around the nose, right here. You go, oh, that thing. Well, special effects. That's special effects, and that is something else. Hey, that's what those Oscars are for, guy. It's not the crew out there who did all the work or the director who did all the work. It's the actor appealing to the public. You have sympathy for the public. You cry with them. You laugh with them. And that's an Oscar. Boy, I think I polished this one too much. But that's what you're looking for. And that's what a screenwriter does. He makes that, I guarantee you right now about that. If you can get the actor, gives out these lines, makes the people looking at the picture feel his hurt, feel his crying, feel his emotions, you got a winner. Yeah. That's how your screenwriters. And someone says you got very good, very talented screenwriters who can bring it across. Of course, you do have a director there too, but yeah.